Hi friends, how are you? It is my first video in biology. I am a biology teacher. Today our topic is nutrition food supplying system. I think you all know that what is meant by nutrition. Nutrition is a physiological process in which living organisms prepare or obtain materials essential for their life activities. Means anything is eaten by our body and it will be changed into energy. It is called nutrition and it is used to our daily life activities like running, jogging and etc. Food is needed by all living organisms mainly for growth and repair. Food is the main thing that we get nutrition. For all the living organisms, nutrition is mainly for their life processes. Several organisms need food to maintain body temperature as well. You all know that food is giving the nutrition. When there is nutrition, then only our organisms will be controlled in our mind. Then the body will not be controlled with our mind, and there will be got some diseases. A large variety of substances are taken as food, from single cellular organisms like amoeba to the complex multicellular organisms like the human body. You all know that single cellular organism is amoeba. It consists only one cell. This amoeba also take food, and human body consists a multicellular organism having a lot of million cells in our body. All the organisms in the world want to eat the food and get the nutrients. Even within the human body, the cells require a wide variety of substance as food. You all know that all the human bodies not only eat only one food daily, they all changes the menu of eating food. One day roti, one day rice, one day this egg puff. Daily the food will be changed. The mode of occurring food also varies from cell to cell and organisms to organism. You all know that all the cells do not eat a common food item. All the organisms also won't eat common food items. From organisms to organisms, body to body, the food will be changed. They will eat a different type of food materials. You have studied in your previous class about how different organisms get their food. Let us recall some of them. You all read in your previous class that nutrition about some photosynthesis, how we will get nutrition. Let us see deeply into our topic. What are heterotrophs? How do heterotrophs get their food? Heterotrophs, the mode of nutrition in which an organism takes food from another organism is called heterotroph. Means they cannot prepare their own food, but they take the food from other organisms. That is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Example: amoeba, human, rat, cat, etc. What are autotrophs? How do autotrophs get their food? Autotrophs means it will prepare their own food with the process of photosynthesis, and it will get the food by the action of photosynthesis. Let us study about the modes of nutrition and find out why most plants are called as autotrophs. You all know that all the plants give the food. This is the action of photosynthesis. Let us see to our topic: autotrophic nutrition. We know that autotrophs are the organisms capable of using light energy to synthesize chemical compounds. You all know that a plant mainly want water, chlorophyll, soil, and all the minerals, nutrients to be alive. For this photosynthesis, plants mainly want sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and chlorophyll. These are the main four things of the to do the activities of photosynthesis. They acquire nutrients like some minerals and water from the soil. You all know that the minerals and water is absorbed from the soil and some gases from the air. Some gases from the air means CO2 is absorbed by the leaves from the air. They are capable of producing complex compounds like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, etc. You all know that all the plants will give different type of food materials. All the plants won't give only one food material. These compounds produced by them are utilized for providing energy to most of the living organisms and all living animals, including human beings. You all know that this food will give the nutrition to all the living organisms in the world, including human beings. The nutrition mainly comes from the food. It is when we eat the animals also, the animals also will depend on the plant. That's why the plants are called as universal food providers. Most of the things that we eat are obtained from plants. You all know that we are eating food. The food is mainly coming from all the foods are coming from the plants. Even if we depend on animal products, we would find that those animals depends on plants for their food. I had before discussed that all the animals also we are eating, it the animal also will depend on the plant for their food. But how do plant carry out their life process? Scientists have been working for centuries to find out how plants carry out this life process. You all know that scientists had doing hard work before 20 centuries ago. From centuries onwards, all they are thinking that how plant is doing their life process. What are the main things to do that? We know that among all life process, the process of photosynthesis makes plants the universal food provider. Before we discussed that the plant is called the universal food provider because all the animals, all the organisms in the world are depend on this plant, because plant is doing the activity of photosynthesis and bringing this food from the action of photosynthesis. That's why the plant is called the universal food provider for all living organisms. You have studied something about photosynthesis in your earlier classes. Von Helmont and other scientists believed that plants get food material not only from soil but also from other sources. Von Helmont, as a scientist, believed that the plants won't get the nutrients and minerals only from the soil but some external factors from the other resources like sun and air. Can you think of some raw materials needed for photosynthesis? Yes, raw materials are carbon dioxide, water, sunlight. What could be the end product of the process of photosynthesis? Let us see. Let us study the process of photosynthesis in detail to know more about this. Let us go to our main topic, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants containing the green pigment chlorophyll. You all know that all the plants in the world mostly containing the leaves as green because this green pigment contains the chlorophyll, build up complex organic molecules from relatively simply inorganic ones using sunlight as an energy source. The raw material of the photosynthesis is sunlight. It is also most thing to do the photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis is very complex. You all know that the photosynthesis will give the food. It is the main thing to give the food. There are several steps in it and several intermediate compounds are formed. In the process of photosynthesis, there will be many actions. You all know that for the ending of this lesson, we all know that what is photosynthesis. Scientists had tried to formulate a simple equation for photosynthesis over past 200 years. You all know that scientists are trying very hard to give a simple equation for photosynthesis from past 200 years. An equation that was readily accepted and is still widely used is the one formulated and proposed by C.B. Van Nel. An equation was proposed by Van Nel in the year of 1931, which is followed. His opinion was for each molecule of carbohydrate, means for each molecule of food formed one molecule of water, means one molecule of water is released when one molecule of carbohydrate is produced and one molecule of oxygen is produced. When one molecule of carbohydrate is produced by the plant, then one molecule of water and one molecule of oxygen is released by plant. This is a very simplified equation and does not reflect the complexity of the process of means this equation is correct, but some mistakes are there in this atomic numbers. This equation is not used in these times, yet we shall use it for now. This equation is CO2 plus 2H2O gives rise to CH2O plus H2O plus O2. This equation is wrong. Means the formula of food or starch is C6H12O6. There is no formula of C6H12O6 in this. Instead of this, CH2O is the not formula of food. Write down a balanced equation to show this. Do you know? Van Nel first worked on purple sulfur bacteria and found a light plays a specific role. Van Nel, he is a scientist. This equation was changed into this present equation. He first worked on purple sulfur bacteria. It is a kind of bacteria which contains the colors purple and sulfur and found light plays a specific role in photosynthesis. You all know that when the light is not there, the CO2 and H2O won't be changed into simple atoms or structures. Instead of H2O, they used H2S, means instead of water, they are not giving the water to the plant and they used H2S as a starting material. Here no oxygen is liberated during photosynthesis. Instead, elemental sulfur is evolved. Means here they used H2S. Instead of H2O, they used H2S. How the oxygen is produced? There is no oxygen atom in this H2S. Later, he invented a similar process for photosynthesis in plants and proposed the above mentioned equation. Later, he gave a equation. This equation is wrong, and he proposed a new equation. That equation is used for a long time and present is also using. Later, Robert Hill showed O2 is released from water. So many years after this, Robert Hill showed that oxygen is released from water. Then the equation was modified as follows. Modifications are still being made. Means later Robert Hill showed that this equation 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. Means here the end products are food or starch and water is released. There is a balanced equation. It is known that plants synthesize carbohydrates, the smaller, simpler ones first, like glucose, sugars, and form them the more complex ones like starch and cellulose. It is known that plants will produce the carbohydrates, fats, proteins, lipids, etc. The smaller, simpler ones first, like glucose. Glucose is nothing but food. It is also called as sugars. And from them, the more complex one like starch and cellulose. Plants are also capable of synthesizing all other compounds like proteins, fats, etc. You all know that all plants won't give only one food. All plants will give different type of foods like nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, etc. Hence, most plants are called autotrophs. Hence, most plants are called autotrophs. You have to keep in your mind one thing is all the green pigment is present in the plant. That plants only will do the action of photosynthesis. Other plants won't do this photosynthesis activity. Animals are not capable of synthesizing carbohydrates. Animals are not capable because animals are not having this photo, photosynthesis activity and chlorophyll is not present in this body and they have to depend on plants for the same. You all know that in the process of photosynthesis only done in plants, not other animals except blue green algae and only some organisms. Can we state that photosynthesis is the basic energy source for most of the living world? Why or why not? Let us study how plants prepare carbohydrates through photosynthesis. Okay, friends. Next topic we will discuss this activity one and other. You have any doubts? Keep the comments. And my language in English is won't understanding. Please keep the comment like I don't understand English. Speak in Telugu, sir. Okay, bye, friends.